Oh hey, and welcome back to my channel all about children's behaviour, mental health and well-being. In this week's video we're going to be looking at anxiety. We'll be talking about what anxiety is, what it looks like in children and what could be causing it. At the end of this video I'll be sharing my number one tip to help your child with anxiety, as well as what you can do next as a parent. As adults, we need to be as vigilant about our children's mental health as we are about their physical health. And this video is going to give you the key information about what anxiety is, how it impacts our children, and how we as their parents can help them. So what is anxiety? Anxiety is a natural human response. Simply put, it's the thoughts, feelings, and symptoms someone may have when they are worried or uneasy. But I just want to make the point right now that anxiety isn't something that we need to try and get rid of. Anxiety is a natural human response, and it's something that we can learn the tools to deal with, just like anger or sadness. Anxiety is something that can happen at all different stages of life, and it can be present in all different ways. For some of us it might mean like a physical tension in the body, whereas for others maybe we're on hyper alert. For me, it's always been all of those things, but at different times in my life. I was a child with anxiety, except for in the 90s, it was often seen as me just being a bit oversensitive, or, oh, she's just a bit of a worrier. And I didn't get the support at school that many children are now offered. And it certainly wasn't something that was talked openly about. And I'm so glad that that's changing. Now, I'm of course not the only child who has ever felt this way, but this has an impact. And this is why it's especially great that you're sat here today keen to find out more about anxiety and how it may impact your own children or those children that you look after. So what does anxiety look like in children? Well, hang on, I've got a list. So our children might be indecisive, complain of tummy aches, headaches, feeling unwell. They might be irritable, tearful or clingy. They might worry excessively. They might find it difficult to make choices. They might show a change in their sleep, eating or behaviour habits. They might continually ask for a parent or a familiar adult when they're separated from them. They might repeatedly ask what day or time it is, even if they're already aware. They might use the toilet often. They might refuse to go to school. They might struggle with concentration. I mean, it goes on and on. Now, this isn't a complete list. As with most things with children, anxiety can present in different ways for different children. Some children may use the toilet often because of a physical need. Similarly, the school refusal can happen because of something that's going on within school, not necessarily because a child has anxiety. So it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. However, these are things for us all to be aware of and to be mindful of. In my experience, parents and practitioners often have a very good gut feeling about these things. If your child is showing some of these signs and you feel like it's anxiety, then trust yourself. And if your child isn't showing any of these signs, but you've just got a bit of a feeling about something with your child, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. So what causes anxiety? I'd love to be able to give you one set thing that causes anxiety so that we could all be more mindful of it. But honestly, there could be a ton of different reasons. It may be that there has been a trigger in your child's life and they are now feeling more anxious, or they may be a highly sensitive person who is more prone to anxiety. You can try to create an environment where your child will talk freely with you so that there's always opportunities for you to check in with them about how they're feeling. In some of my other videos and courses, I talk about how to build these relationships and how to build these conversations. If you can find a cause for the anxiety, then great, especially if you can do something about it. But if not, we can still support our children with their anxious feelings just by being aware of it. One of the most common things I see, and that I'm absolutely guilty of myself, is rushing. We live in a busy, fast-paced society, and it's hard enough for us as fully developed adults to keep up, let alone our children. So if you're looking for one tip to help with anxiety, try this. Reduce the urgency. Now, I'm going to be really honest, if there's one aspect of having children I find hardest, it's slowing down and it's reducing the urgency. But I've noticed recently how my desire to get things done and how I want to be efficient can actually have a negative impact on me and my little ones. Why are we always in a rush? Do we really not have a moment to spare when our little ones will only be small for so long? It's really easy to get caught up in the day-to-day rush, but we must make a real point of getting rid of the urgency at home when we can. And you know, I've got to stress, it takes practice. It isn't something we are likely to be able to manage every single day. But as the adults, we must remember that our children's mental health must be the most important thing. And does it really matter if we don't get everything else done? Does it matter if we're late occasionally? Perhaps not. But their mental health and our mental health matter. So reducing the urgency would be my number one tip for helping with their anxiety. Whether you can identify the cause or not, by slowing down, we create an opportunity for our children to talk about their feelings. We give ourselves the opportunity to equip our children with the tools they need for their anxiety. But without slowing down in the first place, neither of those things will be entirely possible. Now, this video has barely scratched the surface on anxiety because it's complex, isn't it? The good news is my mini module, You're Okay, goes deeper on the topic of anxiety, mental health and emotional well-being. In that video, I share how to raise the happiest, confident little ones. And I've shared the link for that with a discount code in the description of this video. I've also included a few freebies that I think you might like too. So thanks for joining me in this week's video. Don't forget to hit subscribe, I'm not sure where it is, so that you don't miss any future topics. There's a new video every Friday. Have a great week. Bye.